The first thing that you're going to need to follow along with this is to grab the PDF pattern. You can get that at carlyporter.com. So as you can see, there are lots of different ways that you can customize your own quilted backpack. And I'm so excited to jump into 3 different backpacks that we are going to go through all the customizations, take the pattern one step at a time, multitasking and switching from one to the other as you watch me put these together. So let's jump into the next part. So for each of the back outer panels, we have a corresponding inner panel if you want. The inner panel is actually not required at all, like we talked about earlier in this video. You could literally just have one big backpack cavity and not have any lining or any pockets inside of that, but it's really fun to add those things. So let's move to the Baby Got Backpack outer panel. We have our outer panel done with our cute little straps. Now we need to talk about how we are going to line the inside of the bag for the inner panel. So for this one, what I thought would be cool is to take a piece of lining fabric and lay it down, but fold it over so it's the same size as the back panel. So it's not going to have a pocket that accesses the quilting, but it will have an open pocket that goes about halfway down, like so. So this will be a good pocket for like credit cards. Let me find like a credit card sized card. Okay, so the idea is that you'll be able to slide in a card here and see how it's kind of deep, and that's okay. I think the point is that it can really be protected and safe. And so I think what I'm going to do is an offset pocket where you'll be able to have like enough space for one card. So it'll be like that, and then a bigger space. So this would work for like a chapstick or maybe some receipts or some cash that you want to put in there. So it'll be almost like a kind of little built-in wallet inside of the bag. So what we're going to do is I'm going to top stitch this one ironed edge to just help it stay intact, and then I'm going to tack down these sides, and then we are going to tack it down to our entire back panel. All right, so we have a finished seam here, and then we are going to fold that and fold that over like that. Okay, and then we're going to flip it over and tack this down. All right, so now we have our pocket for our cards. So now let's figure out kind of where we can stitch down another stitch to make that pocket smaller and then a bigger pocket here. So I would say here's the edge of my card, but we are going to do a little bit more because of the seam. So I think if we stitch it down about right here, that should be good. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. And let's stitch that down as well. Okay. So now we have a little spot for credit cards and then a spot for cash or receipts. And both of them are just a little bit deeper. Okay, so our back inner panel is done, and now the last thing we want to do is just tack it down so that it stays in place until we are ready to stitch it to our gusset. All right, so we have our Baby Got backpack, back panel, outside and inside, all put together. Super cute. All right, so let's set that aside, do our thick boy. So we have our back outer panel done. Now we got to figure out what we're going to put on the inside here. All right, so let me try to remember what we had planned out for this one, because I'm pretty sure we were going to do an inset zipper and then another one on the other side with something else. Okay, so for my back panel, inner panel, I'm going to do a lining piece of fabric here because there's no zipper going on here. And so I can do a piece of lining fabric, but that also means that I can add a zipper into it. So I'll do that zipper, add it in, and it's going to match my outer zipper. And then I also am going to do another open pocket here. That is, I think I want it to be kind of like a cell phone style pocket. So I'll do my lining fabric, my inset zipper with this fabric covering those edges like that to give it some stability. There's my zipper pull. And then I'm going to hem this piece of fabric down. So like that. Make it kind of thick and strong like that. Okay, and then I'm going to sew it down like that and then flip it up. And then it'll go into my edges. So let's do that. Okay, so let's first get this lined up. And then we will stitch that down like a top stitch. So that's going to give that top edge a nice finished look. And also provide some stability. going to go through? There we go. Okay, so that's going to go there like that. So what I need to do now is fold this over, and then I'm going to stitch this down right there. Let's move those out of the way. I know that's hard to see, but right there, we're going to do a stitch. Okay, so here's our lining piece, and then we want this to go like that. So we're going to do one more top stitch right there, and then we're going to tack down those sides. Okay. So before I tack down the sides for this pocket here, I also am planning to add this zipper right here. So I don't want this to get in the way. So I'm going to leave that down. Now we need to cut our fabric and then prep our zipper as well. So we're going to get our zipper cut. Okay, and then we also need to cut our fabric. So, and I want my zipper to be not too far down that it gets in the way of this pocket, but not so far up that it feels inaccessible. So I'm going to give myself about 2.5 inches for that zipper. Okay, so our zipper is going to go, oh, is that the wrong one? There we go, in here. So we want to also cover the edges of the zipper with this lining fabric so that it's nice and crisp and clean. So I'm going to put my zipper in here. Okay, got my zipper in. All right, so now we're going to cover the edges of our zipper, and then we're going to inset it. there's one edge. We'll do the same thing over here. All right, so I got my zipper edges covered, and now I can trim this. Okay, so first of all, I can trim my zipper underneath. And then same with this side. Okay, so now I don't have to sew through the zipper anymore. And now I just want to center it so it's not too far that way or too far that way. I just want to center it between the two of those. And then I'm going to cut that and cut there. Okay, now I'm going to do those same zipper insetting techniques that we've done before with our gussets, where we fold this over, we stitch it, and then we zigzag stitch it, and then we top stitch it into place. my seam allowance is off. We gotta do this again. Move that bad boy over. There we go. Much better. Okay, so there is my liner. Got my pocket there, and I'm thinking of stitching that down as well, just in the middle. Maybe I'll do a bigger pocket and a littler pocket. Did not like that. But I do need to double stitch down that top spot. There we go. Okay, so there is my thick boy back panel piece for my bag. So now I just need to tack it down on all the sides. And this is just an 1/8 of an inch stitch to keep it in place. Now I gotta make sure I'm not stitching over any of my straps more than I'm supposed to be. Okay, so let's move this out of the way a little bit. Okay, so my lining is not quite the same size. It's great on the bottom, but the sides are a little bit too big. So I am going to trim those. Okay, so I trimmed that, but I also trimmed my basting stitch there. So I just got to be mindful of that. Okay, so there is my back panel, my inner panel. Got a cute pocket there. That leads to the quilted part. Got a good spot there, good spot there. Nice zipper. And my back. All right, so that's fun. One more down. We got our thick boy inner back panel done. Now we got to do our big girl Bertha back inner panel. So here's my outer panel of the bag. And so for the inner panel, we're doing some stuff. I know that. Okay, so I think for the back inner panel, I want to do the cell phone pocket on top of the open pocket on top of the lining. Yes. Yeah. Actually, you know what? I changed my mind. It makes more sense to have the cell phone be in the front of my front panel, in the inside of my front panel. So I'm going to save these for the front panel. And for the back panel, I'm going to do the lining, the flat piece of lining, and then also the credit card sleeves here. Now this should be pretty simple because all I have to do is just sew this down and then do some specific sized pockets. So it shouldn't be too hard. I'm not going to even hem this cork. I'm just going to stitch it straight down with a raw edge because I think it can handle it and it's not going to fray over time because cork doesn't fray. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch down this bottom and the sides, and then I'll figure out exactly where I want those pockets to land. So that side stitch is just a tacking stitch, and same with this one as well. However, this bottom stitch is going to show. So I think I want to do a second stitch next to it, just for added stability and aesthetic. Okay, so now I want to decide where in my pocket am I going to put separators. Like, I think it'd be nice to maybe be able to slide my phone in one. So I like doing a like 2/3 and then a 1/3. Oh, and this cork is going opposite direction. That's kind of cool. So yeah, I think I'm going to do one like here. So this is bigger and this is a little smaller. Yeah. I can just kind of crease that. Oh, that doesn't really leave a mark like I thought. Oh, why don't I use my chalk? There we go. Okay, so I've got my bigger pocket, my littler pocket, my skinnier pocket. All right, now that was very easy for the back panel. Now I just need to tack this all down into place. All right, so I'm just being careful of my straps, making sure that they are not getting stitched down in between anything. And this is just a tacking stitch, so it doesn't need to be more than 1/8 of an inch from the edge. So this is just keeping all of my layers in place. The other thing that I really like about cork is that it also provides some stability for the shape of my backpack. Like, this cork is very firm and strong and flat, and so it'll give my backpack, especially this big girl, a little bit of kind of stability and shape, which will be really nice. And cork is just really pretty, especially these gold flecks in it. I mean, come on. Okay, so there is our outer back panel, so cute, and our inner back panel with our pockets. Oh my gosh, y'all. Okay, these are coming together slowly but surely. I know that it might feel slow, but doing 3 instead of just 1 is a whole different thing, right? But hopefully with each of these bags, you're learning a little bit different techniques or a little bit different style for how you can accessorize your backpack. So we are more than halfway done. We have our gusset finished. We have our back panel outside and inside finished. So now we just need to do our inner front panel and our outer front panel, and then it's going to be magic just sewing them all together. So let's get to it.